to give this presentation for the audience. I have worked for MCSC for about 2 years, and I really wanted to give this presentation for the people out there who are just starting out in their business, currently using spreadsheets to do their accounting, or have a nonprofit they have a passion for, but need an inexpensive way of keeping track of the income and expenses. Wave is a company headquartered in Toronto, Canada, that provides financial services and software for small business. Wave was purchased by H&R Block in 2019, and quite a few people do use it. I used it for an S corporation after I read reviews on it that said it was #1. I thought, okay, I'll give it a shot. And really, it did work wonderfully for me. Before I started using online accounting software, I was using QuickBooks Desktop. And after I started using online accounting software, it took me 2 hours to do the accounting for what used to take me 2 days when I used desktop. So now I'm totally in love with it. And this accounting software would cost $15 to $30 a month for other types of download software. Maybe I won't mention any names, but so with Wave, you get these free features. You get invoicing, although I'm not going to go over that today. You get accounting, which to me is #1. It will just make your life so much easier for tax time, or if you want to apply for a grant or a loan or whatever, because this software, when you're up to date with categorizing your transactions, which is pretty simple for me, hopefully it is for you too. I think it is. With a click of a button, you can generate a financial statement and give it to the lender, or know what your numbers are for that grant application. So it's wonderful. These items you pay a fee for, but they're not critical to your business operations. With payments, you can accept credit card payments from your customers, payroll if you have employees. This is a pretty good payroll price compared to other vendors. And advisors, bookkeeping support, Wave would do your bookkeeping for you, or if you had a one-time session with them, they would charge you that. I would do bookkeeping for a lot less than that. So I think that support is kind of high. Today, we're going to be going over the Wave website and how to create an account, how to add a new business in Wave, how to import your bank and credit card transactions into Wave, how to categorize accounting transactions in Wave, how to add sales tax in Wave, a couple of different ways, how to add accounts, a couple of different ways, how to reconcile your bank and credit card statements, which a lot of people don't do, but it really is essential. How to generate and print financial reports, which is essential and just takes a click of a button. Wave integrations, in case you have online apps like Stripe or Square. How to use Wave Help, which to me is invaluable. Other features of Wave. Then we will summarize and have a question and answer period. #1, we will go to the Wave website and learn how to create a free account. The easiest way to find the Wave website is do a Google search for Wave Accounting Software and it will come up. This is what will come up next, and the green arrow points you to sign up for free. Then you'll see this screen and you put in your email and your password and then click Get Started. Welcome to Wave. They want you to tell them about your business. So you put in your personal name and then your business name, and you select the type of business. I'm going to show you what is available on a later screen, but I selected retailers, resellers, and sales because it seems like a lot of clients of MCSC have online stores. Then we choose a starting point, and I just want to go to manager accounting because that is what I'm going to teach you today, how to do your accounting in Wave. Tell us how you currently do your books. How do you manage your accounting? There are several options there, so you just click on the down arrow. And I selected, I do it manually. There's this very successful lady that is an MCSC client, and she said she still does her bookkeeping manually. This workshop is for her. I didn't invite her though, so I'm not sure she'll see it, but this is just so much easier. Do you work with a bookkeeper or accountant? No, I prefer doing it on my own. Do you run payroll? I selected I don't need to run payroll. So click on one last step. Then Wave wants to help organize your books. So they want to know how long you've been running your business. I chose 1 to 3 years. What type of business do you have? Wave automatically creates your bookkeeping categories that you might need. I selected sole proprietorship for this one because otherwise, if you have an S corporation or partnership in California, you have to pay an $800 franchise tax every year, unless you're a nonprofit, every year, even if you have no business that year or have a loss or whatever. So I didn't like that. So I decided to go with the sole proprietorship. Do you have a business bank account? I would really recommend that you all do because that's what the system works with. It's very good for you in the long run to keep all your business income and expenses in one bank account because hopefully you will never get audited, but if you do, everything will be nice and neat, and basically, if you lost a receipt or whatever, you still have the bank debit or credit that is on your bank statement. So it keeps things so much nicer for you at tax time. How do you usually pay your business expenses? I selected both debit and credit equally. Then click on continue your accounting. Continue. Oh, right. And here is where you verify your email. So you will go to the email you signed up with and check and see if you've received an email from Wave. And if so, click on it. Then Wave will give you this message that your email address has been verified and ask you to click on Sign into Wave. I use this email address for this class. don't ordinarily use it, and there's my password. Click sign in. Topic 2, how to add a new business in Wave. Here is the screen you're going to see when you sign in, because you haven't started your business yet. You haven't set it up yet. So you click on the arrow next to personal, and you will see this screen. You click on create a new business. And here's the sign out too below that, just FYI. So here again, it's asking me for my company name. Here's where it shows all the choices, but if you're not one of these specific choices, just pick the one that's closest to your business and select that. I selected retailers, resellers, and sales, and a non-store retailer. There are other selections there too, if you have a storefront or something like that. And here is a type of organization: sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, because Wave will set up a rudimentary chart of accounts for you, which makes it a lot easier. So then you add just special accounts that you want to customize. The business currency, the type of organization, I selected sole proprietorship. And there on this screen, it shows the businesses I have. So I have a personal. People could do personal accounting in this if they wanted to, but I don't use Quicken or anything like that for my personal bank transactions. So test 2, there's my business. And notice this left navigation panel. You have the launch pad, dashboard, sales and payments. You can click on any of these sections and it will drill down to subsections where you can, after this presentation and you've set up your account, you can go back to this left navigation panel and find any task that you would like to perform. And there's reports too for your financial reports. What do we want to achieve today? Let's go to better bookkeeping. So click on that. Now we're going to discuss how to import your bank and credit card transactions into Wave. This, I hope no one feels nervous about this. I mean, really, this automatic bank and credit card fee is just taking over business today. These days, QuickBooks Online is just doing great. And even the cost for QuickBooks Desktop, which used to be so cheap, almost is the same as the QuickBooks Online. But it's a lot faster. So we're going to import data automatically. So here's where you would connect your bank or credit card. It just takes seconds and it is secure. The benefits of accounting begin with capturing transactions. It just automatically downloads deposits and withdrawals from your bank or credit card. You don't have to get to it right away if you don't have time to do your accounting. It's all waiting for you to log in and to commence your accounting. And it does, after a while, Wave does learn how you categorize repetitive transactions, and they will suggest a category for you, but I would recommend you double check because sometimes they suggest categories, and even QuickBooks Online does the same thing. They suggest a category that is not correct. So make sure you check that before you accept that. And then the financial reports provide meaningful insights and help you make better business decisions. Here is where you would enter the name of your bank or credit card. Wave uses Plaid to connect your account. You connect effortlessly, and Plaid doesn't sell your personal info. One thing about this, you need to select the date range that you download. Some people, they've been in business for years, but they've used a spreadsheet. So they're not going to be able to capture those transactions on the spreadsheet. So I would recommend starting with the first day of the month or something like that, so you can be organized and start from day one forward. You can import bank statements or do manual transactions. Like, for instance, you just started 4 months ago, but you weren't using Wave then, but you did have a bank account. You could go back almost 4 months and download all those if you want to. So here at this screen is where you enter your bank or credit card credentials and click Submit. And here's some of my business accounts, because I used my account to show you how easy it is to link. And this screen says Wave requires access to all these accounts. How to categorize transactions in Wave. This is what is going to make your life so much easier. And your tax preparer. Or your accountant. You might want someone to do your accounting for you. Here on this screen, we're going to do manage transactions because I did not download the bank transactions, so we're going to have to add them manually. But if you do connect your bank and credit card, all those transactions on those bank and credit card statements are going to be sitting on Wave waiting for you to categorize them. This is the next screen. You can create new customized categories in seconds right from the transactions page, because you will search the available categories, and if they don't have it, you just add it right then and there. You can easily add sales tax or categorize multiple transactions with their Wave bulk categorization feature. You can split transactions. For instance, you write one check to Office Depot, but you buy a computer, which would go under that category, and you also buy some paper, which would go into office supplies category. I'm going to show you a transaction later where I do that. So we're going to click Add Manual Transactions on this screen. Say hello to the new Wave Receipts feature. This is where you have the opportunity to scan your receipt for an expense and embed it in the Wave software right next to the transaction on the screen. Here is it will take you to these transactions. So if you're doing it manually, which I am doing here, we're going to have to add income, add expense. Under more, there are other options. But you see, this screen shows the date, write a description, the account, cash on hand, category, that's what we're going to talk about now. That's where you can categorize the expense. There, the amount will, if you download it, the amount is already going to be there for you. And this little down arrow there is where if you clicked on it, you could embed your receipt. Or if you want to edit the transaction or delete it or something like that, if you did something wrong. Do not delete though after you reconcile something, because I've done that before. Then you have to re-reconcile everything. Starting at whatever month you deleted that transaction in, you'll have to delete and redo all those bank transactions. But actually, Wave does it in seconds. It does it for you, really. It's not hard at all. Okay, so here is add journal transactions. You need to know how to do that too, or your bookkeeper or your tax preparer will do it. So first we're going to add income. Now, for these books to make sense, you either need to add income or owner investment. So this one is owner investment. Say you're just starting out. You need to put money in your business to write your expenses and all that. So you start with the date, and the only account available is cash on hand. If my bank was downloaded, I could click on this down arrow and select my bank account, the account that the business income and expenses was going to flow in and out of. So then you put the amount. Then for description, owner investment. One thing I've found that if you want to see it on your general ledger, which is a record of all your transactions for whatever dates you put in there, you would put your customer's name up there. You would put the name of the name of like Office Depot, the vendor. You would put that for your description. The type shows as deposit because I said add income. And here's the category. This drop-down box there will bring up lots of options, and you start typing in there, and if there's something close to that, it will bring it up. Click save to save that transaction. Then you go on to the next one. Now we're talking about add an expense. So you click on that button. Again, the date, the account that the expense was paid out of, the amount. I actually just wanted to show you the screen on this slide. Also, see where it says split transaction there where the green arrow is? And there's other items there. Include sales tax, add customer, add vendor. You can do all that from the screen. Here's the expense transaction, the date, it's coming out of cash on hand. $300 is the original amount because this is a split transaction. I can only show you part of the screen. The description, the vendor is Office Depot, and since it's an expense, it's a withdrawal. But Wave fills in a lot of those for you. But if it's not accurate on the screen, you just change things with the drop down arrow. So here's the split amount. Okay, original amount 300, but I spent 250 on a computer, which is its own separate category. And I spent 50 on office supplies. So that is why you split those, because they go in different categories. Then you click Save. This one, I believe I'm adding, yes. If you want to record a sale this way, I mean, you can, if you issue an invoice on Wave, it will automatically record that sale for you. But I'm just adding a sale manually. You click Add Income. Then,
Denise,
yes,
I'm sorry, there's a question from LaShawna Boyd. Her question is, do I add income even if money goes in automatically from credit card?
no, you don't add any income or expense whatsoever if you have connected your bank and credit card. You just categorize what is downloaded from your bank or credit card.
She says, thank you.
She is welcome. So on this one, okay, so this is income. And note it says include sales tax there and add customer. This is just part of the slide. So I'm going to go to the next slide. So it will come up with today's date and you just change it to whatever if you're a little to match your bank statement or credit card. That's what I would do. And then the account, you would pick your bank or credit card that you have. Well, it's not going to be a credit card. It will be your bank account that you're having that sale proceeds go into. So I said the amount was 500. And note there, Paso Robles sales tax included of $40.23. I added that account actually to my, no, I added sales tax to, I added Paso Robles to sales tax, but I will show you how to do that later. So Susie Jones is the customer. And of course, since it's a sale, it's going to be a deposit. And since sales tax was charged, it's a product sale. Typically, you don't charge sales tax for services, just if you sell a product. Then click sales. Oh, this, I wanted to show you this. Okay. On this screen, if you click on edit, it will give you the details of that transaction, which are before sales tax, the sales amount was $459.77. The sales tax amount is $40.23, and the total deposited is $500. So I want you to note these blue highlighted items. You could remove the tax or create a new tax. This is where you can add sales tax right at your screen if you haven't entered it the other way. My goodness, there are a lot of sales tax rates too. Every city seems to have its own rate. Wow, that's a lot of data to enter. We went over that, create new tax. Now we're going to, I'm going to walk you through adding sales tax in Wave. Here we click on add sales taxes. Wave, if you do, well, you'd have to enter sales taxes for various cities that you predominantly do business with. It's an online sale and you ship it somewhere. Actually, it's the city, it's the address for that customer. That's the sales tax rate that you use. And sometimes there's a district tax too. So I just Googled the current sales tax rates And you can download the latest revision to all those rates. Seems a little cumbersome, but you need to know that if you are selling products. But if you're just performing services, you don't need to charge sales tax for most services. One thing for sure, the sales tax I've seen is recoverable. So for instance, I'm not sure if you resellers out there buy products and if the wholesaler will not charge you sales tax, but if they won't let you not pay sales tax on something that you are going to resell, then you get a credit on your sales tax return that you file with the state of California. You can recover that sales tax that you paid that you shouldn't have paid, basically. So we click on create a sales tax. The name of the tax is Paso Robles, abbreviation Paso. Description, put that in there. This tax is recoverable. I would definitely select that when you're adding sales tax. And then you put in the sales tax rate. Should be a number only without a percent sign. Click save, and it will be in there. So if you wanted to add an income manually, or you issued an invoice or something, the sales tax that you entered into Wave by the method I just showed you will pop up automatically. And if you've entered 5 different sales tax rates for different cities, the drop down arrow will show you all those 5. So then you pick the applicable one. So this is the screen that will show that you have entered Paso. And this little trash can icon to the right will delete it if you want to delete it. This little pencil icon will let you edit it if you like. But apparently you must say that it is recoverable or you won't be able to edit it. So topic 6, how to add accounts. So we would click customize accounts if you're on the launch pad. Just when you first add your business and start your free Wave account, I'm just walking you through these screens that will come up so they won't confuse you when they come up. So now we're going to customize accounts. It gives you this little message. It's the foundation of better bookkeeping. Make it work for you by customizing it to your needs. But they have started you off with categories based on your business type. And you could click on these links if you wanted to learn more about accounts, how accounts and categories work. Here is just a partial screen of your chart of accounts. They just won't fit all on one page. So see, you have automatically 2 asset accounts. These tabs at the top show you the types of accounts that are included in your chart of accounts. So the next tab is liabilities and credit cards, 1 account. Income is the next tab. There's 4 accounts. Expenses, there are a lot of those accounts, 28. And then equity, there are 2 accounts. And note the upper right-hand side of your screen, you could click there and add an account, or under the type of assets, we're under assets now, you could add a new account right there. There's several ways to do all transactions in Wave, or QuickBooks Online or any of that software, probably. So these are the more asset accounts. Accounts receivable. If you issue an invoice, it will automatically be recorded in accounts receivable. And you need to follow the wave steps to record that payment too, so you don't have a customer, excuse me, showing in your accounts receivable that has actually already paid you. Then if you are selling inventory, you will have an inventory account. And there again, you can add a new account at that screen. Expected payments to vendors. I don't have accounts payable, but if you receive bills and you don't pay them right away, it's best to enter a bill, which will generate an accounts payable. And then you have to follow a certain method to pay that bill if you've entered it as an accounts payable in order to your accounts payable balance to be correct. Sales taxes. This is sales tax. These are liabilities and credit cards tab.
Hi.
This is if you have a sales tax liability. For instance, you issued an invoice in Wave and the customer was charged sales tax, the liability for you to remit that sales tax to the state of California when it's time to file your sales tax return will show up here. Next, this is an income portion of your chart of accounts. There aren't any transactions recorded yet at the time I took this slide. I prepared this slide for this presentation. And if you give someone, a customer, a sales discount, it would show up here. Sometimes businesses say, they send their client an invoice and they say, if you pay immediately, you get 1% off or something like that. Well, that would show up here in the discount, because if they do pay that discount, they're not going to pay the total amount on the invoice. They're going to less 1% or whatever you said the discount would be. And that's the amount that would be deposited in your bank account for that sale. This is the expense screen, partial slide. Excuse me. Cost of goods sold is very important if you do sell inventory. To keep inventory on QuickBooks Online, you have to pay about $60 a month for that subscription. Very expensive, but you could do it for free on Wave. It's a little more cumbersome, more manual entry, but you can do it. I know online sellers, they might keep their inventory elsewhere. You might have a spreadsheet that you keep your inventory on. And that would be, in accounting terms, called a subsidiary ledger, because it's not contained in your accounting software. It's outside of Wave, basically, if you do that. And I know that sometimes Square wants you to issue an invoice. So you're not going to use Wave to issue the invoice, but the sales proceeds plus the sales tax are going to be downloaded into Wave. So that is an important thing to remember. Here are the equity accounts, business owner contribution and drawing. Owner investment shows the amount of money you infused into your business. If you did it as a credit card, that would be a liability. If you took a cash from your credit card and deposited it into your business, that would actually be a liability. And also, well, it is owner investment too, though, but it would show on Wave as liability. Retained earnings profit, that is what remains after use. It's basically the accumulated net profit or loss in your business at a specific date. It's going to show up, all these accounts show up on your, well, not all of them, but this is a balance sheet account, which clients don't quite understand. But if anybody wants help understanding any of this or using Wave or anything like that, just feel free to email me or telephone me and I will help you. That's what I'm here for. I'll give you my contact information at the end. So, how to add accounts. I just used the add a new account button at on the right, upper right. And it takes you to this screen. I'm adding, it will come up this drop down arrow here. This is an asset account that I'm adding. And so this account automatically populates through Wave. And you guys are not going to use this probably, but I just wanted to show you that prepaid vehicle insurance, if you make an annual premium, if you have a business vehicle and you make an annual insurance premium, that is really an asset for you because you paid it in advance. So I chose vendor prepayment for that, and US dollar State Farm vehicle insurance. And there it finally shows up because I made this slide after I added it. So I pretended I paid like 1,668. So now I'm going to show you how to make a journal transaction to recognize. So you click on more and click on add journal transaction. This is what the screen shows up for journal entry, which are totally not hard because they're supposed to balance. You see at the bottom right-hand corner, total debits, total credits. They have to balance each other or Wave will not save the transaction. So here you would select the date, the description. I would write in what the journal entry's for. And then for write a description on the first line, I'd say who the vendor was. But I'm going to go to the next screen to show you when I filled out. So here's the date, October insurance expense, because if you have a prepaid expense asset that I just showed you, you would allocate 1/12 of that expense every month to, because there is an accounting rule called the matching principle. So you're supposed to match the expense with the income. And so you would divide things up 1/12. It's called making an accrual, but that's probably way over your head. But anyway, so I wrote Under the second description, State Farm, and here's the expense. Debit, an expense is a debit, and this is insurance vehicle expense. Then I'm going to credit $139 my prepaid vehicle insurance asset, because if you increase expenses or assets, you use a debit. If you increase liabilities or decrease an asset, you use a credit. And I'm sure that you guys probably don't understand that, and I'm terribly sorry. But if you want help, please call me or email me. I'm very happy to help you, and it's free. So it's worth it. So note the total debits and the total credits at the bottom right equal each other. The difference is 0. So Wave will now save that journal entry transaction because it balances. Now I'm going to show you how to. Is anybody lost so far, or should I continue? Can you respond out there? Does it, or the audience? Does anybody have any questions?
Denise, I'm not seeing any questions currently in the chat box. I'll let you know as we go along if any questions do get placed in the chat box, but I think that you can go ahead and proceed.
Thank you, Gabrielle.
You're welcome.
Reconciling bank statements is a secret to financial confidence, because you can rest assured if they do reconcile that you've entered the transactions correctly. Reconciliation compares your Wave accounting records to your bank and or credit card statements, because your accounting system and your bank statement should be exactly the same. And that's all reconciliation is. You're just ensuring that they're exactly the same. And you could click reconcile now if you wanted to do your reconcile your bank statement, or you could watch tutorial, which is really good. It will show you how simple it is and easy to reconcile your bank or credit card statement. This is what will come up. Reconciled up to today. If you've never reconciled, that green language will not be there. Now, cash on hand is the only account I have to reconcile, but there is a drop-down arrow here, so you need to select a bank or credit card, whatever account you're trying to reconcile. And as of the date of my reconciliation, this is the balance in there per Wave. Then click Get Started. So you get your, hopefully you already have it, your bank or credit card statement, and for the period you want to reconcile. I like to print it out so I can look closely at it if I want. Then click on Start Reconciling. This screen comes up, and I just want to show you that this is actually similar, very similar to what your bank statement is going to show, because under the debit column, that's all your deposits. Under the credit column, it's all your expenses or withdrawals. And the balance is also what is on your bank or credit card statement. And if you're doing a bank statement, it shows like total deposits on what at the top and total withdrawals in the next column. Those totals on that bank statement will be the same as this debit total and this credit total. And the balance will be the same too. But the easy thing to do, this is all you have to do to reconcile. You enter the ending balance as it appears on your statement, your bank statement. I know it's on there. Ending balance date, first put that in. And I would do it once a month or at the end of your bank statement period. Apparently the banks can't let everyone have an end of the month ending date. I've seen some where it's the middle of the month, but whatever the ending date is on your bank statement or credit card statement, put that date in. One thing I need to tell you, you need to have your categorizations up to date though, or it won't work. So categorize everything before you start your reconciliation. And then the ending balance amount, that is just the ending balance amount shown on your bank statement or your credit card statement. Click save. And voila, account is reconciled. When I first when I first started reconciling, I would check every single thing, to make sure that it was on that bank statement. I would check every entry in QuickBooks Online against that bank statement to make sure it was there and click it. But so you might want to do that in the beginning till you get the hang of it. But then after that, it's like, because it will show you at the top, 0 difference. And that means everything reconciled. And it just takes seconds. So if it doesn't, then you'll have to figure out what's wrong, which can be a little challenging, but these accounting software systems, they help you find these errors. So if you want to go back and after this class and reconcile some statements, you can go back to that left navigation pane I showed you in the beginning, click on accounting, and then reconciliation will show up. And you can click on that and go right to your reconciliation screen. On this one, when I reconciled this the first time, there was a little discrepancy. Maybe I should have showed you that so you would know that I'm not perfect. But so I had to fix this. But anyway, if you need to make a correction to your reconciliation to make it get that great email that says your accounts are reconciled, you click on the arrow next to the amount in the upper right-hand corner, place your cursor over the check mark above the date of the reconciliation where that green arrow is, and click on that. When you click on the pencil icon there right next to 3522 under statement balance, you click on that pencil icon. And then this will show up. So you can correct either the ending balance date or the ending balance amount. And then save. But if you have problems with reconciliations, please email me or call me. I'll help you with them. Now we're going on to how to generate and print financial reports. And hopefully you guys are still with me. So here's the report you're going to want to see most of the time. First of all, you go to that left navigation panel and click on reports and click on profit and loss. This is going to show you You have to make sure you select the right dates though, or it will come up with dates that don't make any sense to you. Numbers that don't make any sense to you. So you have to make sure you put in the correct dates that for the period you want to look at. But profit and loss shows your business net profit and summarizes your revenues and expenses in a given time period. So we'll click on profit and loss. There's the date range that we're looking at, January 2022 to October 20th is when I looked at this. And report type, it's either cash or accrual. If you want to see your accounts receivable balances and your accounts payable balances, you might want to select accrual just so you can get an idea. But I recommend reporting on the cash basis if you're a small business. So to select the cash basis, you would just click on this drop down arrow and change it to cash. And then you would click on that blue button, update report. But this, I just did a few transactions, so I would have something to show you. But here's the income. Remember that one sales tax box? It showed this was the income. Cost of goods sold. I didn't show you that transaction, but I purchased something for $10 and then sold it for $10. So that's why that shows up under that column. Operating expenses were the rest of the expenses. So really my net profit's $10.77, which seems really small, but I didn't want to spend a lot of time entering lots of transactions just for this class. So here where this bottom green arrow is, I like to click on details just so I can see the transactions that took place during that period. But you could just summarize it. So you click on summary. Now this is for if you want to print the financial statement that will come up. You click on the down arrow up at the top right, export, next to export, and select PDF. And then the document will go down on the lower left-hand side of your screen in Wave. So I click on it and then it comes up. And this is what a profit and loss looks like list the business name there and the date range, so you know you have the right one. And then click on the printer icon, though I suppose everyone has a different way of printing on their computer, but I just wanted to show you one way. Other reports available in Wave are more financial statements, the balance sheet and the cash flow statement, which if you have a QuickBooks subscription, I'm not sure you get access to the cash flow statement on those less expensive subscriptions. I could be wrong. But you have access to the sales tax report, which you can use then when it's time to file your sales tax return with the state of California, quarterly, annually, whenever you are required to. Payroll reports, customer reports, vendor reports, and detailed reports for account balances. Like if you want to know what all transactions or how much did I spend on meals and entertainment or something, you could print out that account by using the method I just showed you. Trial balance is used by tax preparers, and the general ledger, which is a record of all your accounting income and expenses. That's good to save that at the end of the year so you have it. I used to audit people, and they would have used QuickBooks but lost their records, got corrupted or something. And so that's kind of hard, for anyone to justify anything actually to an auditor.
And Denise,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt, love. I just wanted to let you know that we are hitting the 105 mark. So just kind of wanted to give you a heads up on that, okay?
Okay. I will speed it up. Wave integrations. I talked about this earlier. You can add transactions in Wave. It basically synchronizes your Square site or your Stripe site or your Shopify site using Zapier. How to use Wave Help. This is a good one. See this little round navy blue dot on the lower right-hand side of the screen? You just click on that. And then this box comes up. It says message. And I entered a question, how do I make a journal entry return? And it popped up, how to create a journal transaction. And it gives you the procedure you follow. Topic 11, other features of Wave. You can add a customer, add a vendor, customize your invoices, invite a guest collaborator. If you want someone to do your bookkeeping, you can click on that and invite them, and they will have access to your Wave account. So you've got under sales and payments, you have estimates, invoices, all these different things subsections you can click on and get more information. Under purchases, you have bills, vendors, products and services. So to summarize, I recommend using a separate business and credit card account and connect them to Wave so all those transactions download. Then you can categorize those income and expense transactions, learn how to add accounts. You're probably not going to need to add that many, but you might want to add a few. Learn how to make journal entries. You won't do that very often either. Reconcile your bank and credit card statements monthly. You probably would do that one. Use the reports available in Wave. You will love it if you ever need to fill out a loan application, a grant application, or want to know if you're earning money or losing money. Those reports are right there for you.